easier than posting a video because I have some announcements and I really want you guys to hear them. So for the new people that are in here, the weekly work form is posted up on Google Classroom. The warm-up so Tyler and Bella, you guys have your videos on, and Austin too. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can see the slideshow? Okay, excellent, good, I'm glad, all right. Okay, my goodness, so many people. Hope you're doing well. It's supposed to be 80 degrees this week, you guys. It's gonna be so hot. Ugh, but it's good, I guess.
Wait a minute. Do we have to have our cameras on right now?
No, you don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if I had my druthers, I wouldn't have my camera on either. It's weird having your camera on, but I trust that you're listening. That's the only reason why I would require. I know there's some teachers that require all the cameras to be on, but yeah, I'm not going to do that. So as long as you're listening and paying attention, that's really all I care about. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So I have hold on, let me make sure. This is gonna have to be the way I do it, because if I put this in present mode, then I can't see the Google Meet at all. So it's gonna have to be this non-present mode. So hopefully that's okay. So the warm-up for today is, why do you think Americans love stories about true crime? So about like real crimes that have happened. And then asking, do you like true crime stories? So that's your warm-up. Again, you don't have to do the warm-up right now. I've posted this slideshow. I'm also going to post this Google Meet so that you'll be able to come back to it later. Okay, good. I wanted to make sure that I was actually recording it. So here's the first thing, and this is really one of the big reasons that I wanted to do a Google Meet as opposed to posting a video, because I really wanted to make sure that I was here to talk about these announcements, because I want to make sure everybody hears them. Some people might not watch the video or skip through them. So first thing, returned work. I have had a lot of people asking me questions about why work is getting pushed back to them after they turn it in. After I have graded something, I then return it to you. It's a way for me to stay organized, to know what's been graded, what has been turned in but still needs to be graded, and then what's still missing. So if I return something to you and it has a grade on it, it's already been graded. Like, you don't need to give it back to me. I don't want it back. Like, there's some people like I've been playing like tennis with, like I return it and they resubmit it, and then I return it and then they resubmit it. I used to have with this middle schoolers, nightmare middle schoolers, but just know I don't need, if I return it to you and it has a grade, don't touch it. You don't need to touch it anymore, okay? It's already in the grade book, and you can even go to the grade book and verify that it's there. Okay, the second announcement, and kind of the 2 and 3 go together. So I am currently in the process of working, this is the word I'm going to use. I'm working with the administration to potentially still be able to do the podcast for our next unit. My whole philosophy is I ask for forgiveness. I don't ask for permission, because I don't like to hear the word no. So I just typically say, oh, sorry, I didn't know I needed to ask for permission, and then, move on. However, in this year, not in my class, but in other classes, there was kind of a big deal about not getting parent approval on a book that was being taught. And so I reached out to the administration about this podcast that many of you, I'd say like 75% of you, expressed interest in that being the unit that you want to choose to do for the latter half of the year, for the rest of the year, is listening and analyzing this true crime podcast. So I reached out to the administration to discuss that with them, and I am working with them, trying to convince them that this is a move that I think it would be beneficial. I would still have to get parental approval. So if I don't get an okay from a parent or a guardian, I wouldn't be able to teach you that podcast. But the administration, even with getting parental approval, they're still a little bit unsure if they want me to proceed with that. I did teach it last year. It was really, really successful last year. I'd say one of the most memorable units that I had done with freshmen. But it's much different when you're doing it from a distance as opposed to doing it in a classroom. And there is some stuff in there that's inappropriate. There's language, right? And I don't say it's often, but it comes up in every episode. There's some language. There's mentions of teenagers doing drugs. There's mentions of teenagers having sex, but it's all like in passing. So there is some content in there that is mature. I don't think it's too mature for 15-year-olds, but that's what I'm working with the administration. So I am there. That potentially could be something that we still do. But if not, then you're going to be able to choose between two books. So one of them for sure is going to be Fahrenheit 451. And then the other one would probably be To Kill a Mockingbird. So you get a choice between the two. If we do move forward with the podcast, you'd still be able to get a choice. So you'd be able to choose between either the podcast or Fahrenheit 451. So because there were some people in there who's like, I don't know if I want to listen to that podcast, you would still have a choice. So if we do move forward with the podcast, no matter what, there's going to be choice in there. So I am hoping to have this solved by Thursday, and I'll be able to update you guys on Thursday. So that I could get numbers as to who wants to read the book, who wants to do the podcast. And if we can't do the podcast, then I'll ask you guys to choose one of those two books.
Question.
The books,
I
see Austin just said, there's a lot of people that want to do creative writing. And so there would be creative writing choices within the book work. So, okay, Austin.
No, you're cutting. One, you're cutting out and I can't hear parts of what you're saying. But
am I cutting out for everybody?
Yes.
Oh,
Only a little bit every once
I
in a while.
can hear you, but it's just like kind of choppy, you know.
Yeah, it'll all of a sudden just go
But-
choppy for a few seconds and then it'll just go snap back to normal.
Shoot.
That's why I
Did you guys
tried
get
to
the
ask a
gist of what I
question
was
while you were
saying?
talking.
Did you get the gist of what I was
I
saying?
got-
Perfectly fine.
I got what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I was trying to talk in the middle of you talking because I
Oh.
thought you had finished because I didn't hear you. Sorry.
You know,
Also, what's the podcast called again?
it's called Serial.
Serial. Okay.
Serial, yeah. So it's the first season of Serial, so it came out in 2014. And it's about not serial like serial like SERIAL, like a series. So it's about a man, a 17-year-old Pakistani boy who was convicted of murdering his girlfriend, who was an Asian American. And there's a lot of stuff in there that's just, it talks about, I mean, it's such a good podcast. I've literally listened to it 5 times. I mean, I'm obsessed with it. So it's kind of a selfish thing of like, oh, I want to teach it again because I want to listen to it again. I will keep you guys posted on that. All right. If you have any questions as we're moving through, just go ahead. You can put them in the chat or I'll do questions at the end. All right, so what are we doing today? So today we're going to this is like my first intro into the serial unit. So I'm still gonna move forward with that because even if we don't do it, it's still a really, really good article. And it's an essay written by this man named Walter Mosley, who is a true crime writer. So he's really well known for writing detective novels. And he wrote an article for, not US Weekly, Newsweek. He wrote an article for Newsweek that talked about America's obsession with true crime, because we as a society really do have this like deep fascination with real life murderers. Like I get to those, like new documentaries that are on TV, or like all those Netflix documentaries. If you watch Netflix, like Making a Murderer, The Keepers, like all these. There was The Jinx on HBO. Tons and tons of shows and movies and podcasts all center around real crime, and Walter Mosley has made a career off of it. Like he writes detective fiction, yet he goes into kind of the psychological aspects of like having a society that's so fascinated with real crime So it's not a very long article, but what I'm going to ask you to do, I have pushed out the article to everybody. So you get a copy of the article, and we're practicing our close reading and annotating skills. Now, it's going to work a little bit differently because you're going to, you're going to be doing this digitally. You're not going to be doing it physically, but it almost might be easier for some people. So you're going to be using the highlighting, the commenting, the underlining tools to show me your interaction and your thoughts about the text. And then, oh, I don't want you to choose 3. I want you to do all of them. Sorry, guys. Then do all these questions. I don't know why it says 2, 3. And then you're going to answer them within the document. And then there's not going to be on your weekly work form within the activity practice, there's not going to be any work there. You could just write article complete because all of your work for today is going on the actual document. So here are these 5 questions. So give a 2 to 4 sentence summary of the article, including what you think his main point is. Reread paragraph 2. Mosley is stating that we could be and often are guilty of anything and everything. Do you agree with that? That makes more sense when you actually read the article. Number 3 is a quote from the article. It says, guilt is a mainstay of who we are. What do you think that means? Number 4, explain the final paragraph of the essay. And then number 5, this is another quote from the article. These forms of entertainment corroborate our feelings of distrust and allow us to think about how we might fit into a world that wouldn't even be aware of us getting, crushed under its collective weight. And then I want you to explain how this sentence shows a feeling of hopelessness. That's a really dark view of society. And so, yeah, those are your 5 questions that I want you to answer within the article. So if you look at the weekly work assignment, you'll see that the article is there. You close read and annotate the article and then answer the questions that are just right underneath that. All right. And then I just realized because I'm an idiot, I originally had the exit ticket be like, what would you rather do? Read Fahrenheit 451 or listen to Serial? And then I had to change it at the last minute because I don't know if we're going to be able to listen to Serial. So this is I asked this also in the warm-up, like, are you a fan of true crime stories? And if you are, but really for your exit ticket, I want you to answer why or why not. Why you for instance, I love true crime. I am there's this podcast that there's 2 podcasts about true crime that are My Favorite Murder and just all about these different crimes. I really do like true crime stories, which is kind of morbid and dark. So I want to know about you. Are you a fan and why or why not? So some people hate it. Some people love it. So I kind of want to know what your feelings are on that. So that's your exit ticket. Okay. Now let me stop sharing. Maybe that'll be helpful. That's all I have for today. I'm going to post this recording up on Google Classroom, but are there any questions about anything before I kick you all out of here? I know I see there. Let me look in the comments really quick to see if anybody put that. Okay, I see some stuff cut out. What cut out? Oh no. See, this is what happens. I can't see Google. I can't see the Meet while I'm presenting the slideshow. Oh, shoot. What got missed? Anybody want to be brave? Tell me what you missed.
I don't know what I missed because it cut out for a solid couple minutes for me.
Oh, God. Did it cut out for a solid couple minutes for everybody?
Nope.
No. Okay. Maybe it's just you, Austin.
I think it's just my Wi-Fi because we're having trouble with it right now.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, you know me. You probably didn't need to hear that stuff that got cut out. I just talk and talk and talk. Are there any questions about the assignment or about and the announcements, anything that I said? All right. Okay, so I hopefully will have more information for you on Thursday. If you need something from me, let me know. I'm available, email, texting, all that good stuff. Okay, guys? It's good to see your icons. I'll see you later, okay? Bye, guys.
Yeah.